Hello, welcome to today's episode. And in today's episode, I'm focusing on private sector engagement intervention, how we can shift from failure to success. In my view, it all starts in the mind. We have to have the right mindset in order for us to be successful in designing, engaging the private sector actor. So I'm going to run through 5 mindset shifts that I think we need to make. The first is to shift from a charity mindset to a market-driven, focused mindset. What do I mean by that? So very often when we approach private sector actors, when we're doing private sector engagement interventions, we focus on what the private sector actor can do for our beneficiaries. Things like we want them to do training, we want them to incorporate women in the supply chain. We want them to provide some sort of service for our participants and beneficiaries. Whereas if we focus on market-driven factors, elements, this would excite the private sector a whole lot more. So imagine you go to a private sector actor and you're discussing potentially how the size of the market they're reaching at the moment can be expanded by including your participant, or perhaps they can increase their supply chain and lower the risk of supply chain disruption by including your participants. So you're lowering the cost of logistics, and all of this will excite the private sector actor to join you in your intervention. The second really mindset that we really need to try and shift away from is this rigid approach to our intervention plans. So we have a plan, we have an intervention plan that we've set out, and if it's not working, we begin to either dump it or move on. But really, private sector actors work in a dynamic market, in a dynamic environment. Things change all the time. What we ought to be focused on is learning from the changes and see how we can adapt our intervention approach to cope with the changes that's happening in the market. The other mindset I think we really need to try and shift away from is the short-term mindset. So our mindset is based on the period of our program. So if our program ends in 5 years, that's a limit of the type of relationship we're trying to build. But really what we ought to be doing is building a long-term relationship. We need to facilitate relationship between private sector actors that will sustain and scale beyond the life of the program. And this will encourage the private sector actors to join us in our intervention, because they are in the business of staying in business for longer than the period of our program. The other thing is shared value creation, that we need to shift away from recipient mentality. And donor-recipient mentality creates donor darlings. So we approach private sector actors and promise what we can give and start with what we can give, rather than actually focus on shared value creation. What do I mean by that? So the market actor wants to expand its market. You as a development professional, you want whatever it is that this private sector actor provides to be expanded into the areas where your participants or beneficiaries are. So that's a shared value. So it means the expansion, the market expansion really overlaps with your intention of getting these services into your participants' location. So we need to move away from making all of these upfront promises and focus on the shared value, the overlap between private sector actor goal and development mandate. The other thing, very quickly, I know this video has gone longer than usual, is the systemic change vision and project level thinking. Very often when we engage with private sector actors, we're focusing on the project. We're at the project and we're thinking, how does this private sector actor help us achieve our targets inside of the program? Whereas what we ought to be thinking about is a systemic change vision. We ought to have a vision of how we hope the system will look like in the future and how this private sector actor can help us change the current market system into the vision that we have. I know this video has gone longer than usual, but please leave your comment and suggestions of the sort of mindset that we need to begin to develop inside of market systems development, especially when we're engaging private sector actors. Please leave your own suggestions in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.